Well, good morning, and thank you for being in the circle this morning. So makes my heart sing to have people to meditate with, where I can feel your presence, even though hopefully some people listen to the recording as well and get something out of that, because meditation is such a beautiful teacher for us all. Um, I wanted to do something a little different today, which is it's called the R.A.I.N meditation, and I learned this through Tara Brach. It's where we recognize, it's an acronym for recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. And one of the reasons I love this is because I was doing and practicing and listening to this meditation well before I ever learned anything about IFS or parts work. But just wait, it's exactly like it. So it's real interesting and beautiful, but it really is it's a Buddhist practice, or a mindfulness practice, I should say. So let's get comfortable. If it feels okay, then let your eyes close, or at least let them soften and lower. And take a few deep breaths just to remind yourself that you do have a body and your body is here now. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring to mind a situation which causes us some sort of negative emotion, some sort of frustration or anger or sadness. But we're not going to choose something that's traumatic from our past, because this is not the container to be able to hold all that for you. And if you're like most human beings, you can probably choose something that's happened rather recently that's, you know, taken you above a 5 on your feeling meter. And think of it like, I don't know, you're watching it on a movie and you stop it right in the part where you can feel it really, the most kind of stress or distress. And just kind of be with that for a minute. Again, we're not choosing something very traumatic, just something that triggered some anger or frustration, sadness. So the first step is the R, to just recognize what's happening here. Recognize where it is in your body. Notice what emotions are at the surface. Maybe it's more than one emotion. That's completely fine. But slowing down enough to notice what's going on. And now just internally, kind of whispering to yourself the name of these emotions. Oh, that's frustration. Oh, that's anger. Internally, just naming what you're feeling. And then we move into the A of the R.A.I.N acronym, which is just allowing. I say just allowing as if it's easy. It's not always easy, but allowing these feelings to be there without chasing them away. You're not trying to get rid of it or control it or fix it. You're certainly not ignoring it because you're sitting here inviting it. And see if you can try to even take the attitude that this belongs right now. Whatever you're feeling belongs. Doesn't mean you have to like it or you want it to stay forever. But just for now, we're allowing it to be here. Again, always noticing what's happening in your body. And the more space we can create, by naming it and allowing it to be here, sometimes we notice a settling happening. And so now we're going to move into the I of R.A.I.N. The I is investigate. So it means with very gentle attention, we're going to explore what's going on. See if you can hold on to a sense of curiosity and interest. You're really interested in what's going on. I really believe that this curiosity about our feelings is a superpower. If we can create enough space to get curious, we can get unhooked from the stories we're telling ourselves. And so now that's what you're going to do. You're going to ask yourself, what story am I telling myself about this situation that really winds me up? What story am I telling about the other person involved? Are there beliefs behind these feelings? Is there a belief of what it means when someone cuts me off in traffic? Is there a story I've told myself about what it means if someone doesn't say thank you in a certain amount of time when I've given them a gift? Right? So investigate the stories behind these feelings, the rigidness, the right and wrongness. And maybe investigate what you know and what you actually don't know, what you're making up. And whatever you're uncovering, again, notice if you can feel it somatically in your body. Or you want to maybe do a little body scan while you're investigating. Might be aware of clenching your jaw or tightness in your hands or legs or even chest. Notice if you're making an expression on your face, maybe. And as we come to the end of this step, this investigation step, just notice if you do have the willingness to be intimate with whatever's there as you're investigating it. If not, that's where you are this morning. But if so, just be with that intimacy and vulnerability. Now we're going to begin to move to the N, which is nurturing. Where we ask these vulnerable parts of us what they need from us to not have us so wound up in a story that's already happened that we've brought to life again. Right? What does our anger or frustration or sadness or any of the stories that we've made up about the person who did what they did, or just ask that part, what do you need from me right now? In your anger, in your pain, how can I help? Maybe offering some messages to these parts or emotions or feelings, letting them know that they're okay, you're enough. You're just really offering compassion to the thoughts and feelings and situations that normally we berate ourselves for. It's really what we're getting at here. Complete compassion for our anger and our frustration and our sadness, and unhooking from the stories we've told ourselves about this. And if it feels right when we do this kind of journey of self-compassion, sometimes it helps to put our hands on our hearts, or touch your hands, or just notice your own human touch, to really connect with yourself, to really have that compassion and nurturing for yourself. It's definitely not easy to do. So if you're only 1% there, just be 1% there this time. And for some of us, when we try to love ourselves in this way, it's just there's too many roadblocks. And that's where we can call on higher wisdom, perhaps a God that you believe in, or your angels, or a wise teacher who you think looks at you and loves and accepts you. Use that person to channel this compassion and love and acceptance for this part of you that can hijack you, hijack your system, take you offline. Now, as we come out of the practice, you stay in the meditation, but you're just noticing if there's more spaciousness, more compassion, more loving presence. And if there isn't, then you might take some time after our session together to journal about why, what's so difficult about this practice, what's so challenging, not in a negative way, but in an incredibly curious way. But for now, we're just going to come back to the breath. Back to the body, noticing our mind and body is in the same place. And I'm going to end with a poem by Kai Seidenberg called Thank You, Cold. Thank you, cold, for teaching me to be grateful for warmth. Thank you, clouds, for teaching me to be grateful for sun. Thank you, noise, for teaching me to be grateful for quiet. Thank you, tears, for teaching me to be grateful for laughter. Thank you, loss, for teaching me to be grateful for what I have. Thank you, death, for teaching me to be grateful for life. Now maybe wiggle your fingers and toes and stretch, and when you're ready, just open your eyes and begin again. Thank you for being here.